Welcome to AT Insider. My name's Eleanor, and in this video, I'm going to be reviewing Google Read and Write. Google Read and Write is an assistive technology tool that can help people who have a hard time reading or writing. It has a variety of built-in tools, including, but not limited to, speech-to-text, text-to-speech, word prediction, a spelling and grammar check-it feature, and even a picture dictionary. It works with a variety of common file types, including Google Docs, PDFs, and EPUB, and it even works with web pages in Google Chrome. Let's get into where you can download and find Google Read and Write. Alright, so the Google Read and Write that I'll be reviewing today is Google Read and Write for Google Chrome. It can be downloaded on the Chrome Web Store. It has over 1,800 reviews, averaging at 4 stars. There's also an Apple app and an Android app, but they're both respectively very lowly rated, with only 2.6 and 3.2 stars. Again, just to be clear, the Google Read and Write that I'll be reviewing today is Google Read and Write for Google Chrome, specifically version 2.1.145. Let's get into pricing. Alright, let's get into price. So there are two ways that someone can purchase Google Read and Write Premium, depending on who they are. If you're an individual and you want to purchase Google Read and Write Premium, it's $150 a year on a subscription basis. If you're a school and you want to purchase Google Read and Write Premium, it's $2 per student, but you have to buy in bulk at a minimum of 800 students at a time. That's for the premium version. There's also a free version, and there's also an option to try the premium version for 30 days free, which I'll get into later in this video. Alright, without further ado, let's jump over to VoiceOver Eleanor to check out all of these tools.
Alright, let's jump right into these tools. So the first tool you're going to see in the toolbar, and the first tool that I'm going to go over today, is the Check It feature. So the Check It feature is a spelling and grammar checker, and it's similar to the already built into Google Docs spelling and grammar checker, but it's a little bit different. So in the built into Google Docs spelling and grammar checker, it will show you the errors in your sentence, and it will allow you to either accept or ignore their one suggestion. But in the Google Read and Write Check It feature, it gives you multiple suggestions. So you can see here, I spelled the word there wrong, and it gives me all the suggestions of what it thinks I could have been spelling. You can see again here, I didn't capitalize the word spot, so it will identify that error and then give me the possible suggestions. You can see I didn't add punctuation to the end of the sentence, and it can give me all of the possible punctuation. Alright, the next tool that I'm going to get into here is the prediction tool, and this works similarly to the prediction tool in Apple's texting. You can see it gives me 10 possible words to continue my sentence, and you can just click around and it will write them in. Now, this is a little bit gimmicky, but I can see how this can be helpful, or a helpful tool for people who are struggling to finish a sentence or people who are going through writer's block. Alright, so the next tool that I'm going to get into are the text-to-speech tools, and that is the play, the pause, and the stop. And what I love about these tools is that you have the ability to play and pause in the middle of the reading. And why is that helpful? Well, for most other applications, you have to re-highlight sections of text, but in Google Read and Write, you don't have to do that. So you'll see here, I'll click play, it'll play some of the sentence, and I'll pause it in the middle, and then resume the reading.
There once was a dog named Spot. Spot liked to go to the movies.
And you can see if I did that on most other text-to-speech softwares, I'd have to re-highlight the sentence. But that's not an issue in Google Read and Write. Alright, so for these next tools in Google Read and Write, I want to show you a couple things. First, I want to show that Google Read and Write works on other websites. So you can see here, I've gone to the New York Times, and Google Read and Write and all of its tools are still applicable. So I have a little article here about Orzo, and you can see I can still access all of their reading tools. So the first tool I want to go over in this New York Times article are their highlighting features. And so these are similar to how you could highlight in a Google Doc, but you can do it on websites. So look, I'll click the highlight feature and I can select text and I can highlight it. And it's any text in the document you can highlight, right? This recipe, highlighted, right? You can highlight all of what you want in these different colors. And so why might this be helpful? Well, it can be helpful in any way you want to highlight things. And so let's say you're doing annotations, but you have to have text to speech because you can't read a physical book. This is a great way to be able to annotate an article. And even when I turn off Google Read and Write, the highlights still remain. All right, the next tool that I want to get into is going to be the masking tool. And this masking tool works similarly to a physical masker. And what it does is it just highlights the part of the text that you are selecting over. And so this can be helpful for people who have a hard time staying focused while they read, or if you're like me and you're dyslexic, this can also help. And so you can see it works similarly to a regular physical masker. All right, the next tool that I want to go over are the translation features. And so it uses Google Translate, and you can just highlight a word and it can give you some of the translations, and you can also play them out loud if you're working on pronunciation. All right, one of the last tools I want to go over, and these tools are super cool, are the dictionary tools. And so you can see here, there's the picture dictionary and the regular dictionary. And so I'll still use this New York Times article as an example, but you can highlight a word and you can click on the dictionary tool and it will give you that definition, right? So eggs is a noun and it gives you that definition. You can also play it again out loud. So again, I can do this for another word. I can go here to comfort and I can go to dictionary and it will give me that definition and all the different definitions, and you can again play them out loud. With the picture dictionary, you can highlight a word and it will show you pictures. You can see I've highlighted the word texture and it gives me these two pictures that describe texture really well. And so this can be super helpful if you're learning English, or if you just don't know what a word means and you want a representation of it in image form. All right, the next tool that I want to go over is Google Read and Write's Talk and Type, or Google Read and Write's speech-to-text platform or software. And I think this speech-to-text is pretty iffy. In fact, it's pretty unreliable. And so to show you that, I said photolysis multiple times into my microphone, and it, as you can see, pick different words to type each time. And so I think this is just one representation of how Google Read and Write's talk to type or speech to text is pretty inconsistent. Again, it's not the worst speech to text that I've used, but it is pretty iffy. As you can see, it did different words each time.
All right, let's get into pros. The first pro is the variety and quantity of tools. There are over 15 of them. Now, why is that helpful? Well, because AT is so specific to each person, it requires individuals to purchase multiple assistive technology applications to fulfill their needs and requirements. But Google Read and Write eliminates that need because there are over 15 tools in one application. The next pro kind of goes along with the variety of tools, is that there are tools that I haven't seen elsewhere. For example, the picture dictionary. I don't personally use the picture dictionary often, but I can see how it can be super helpful to a variety of people. Another pro is the ease of use. I love the toolbar functionality. There's no need for keyboard shortcuts or different applications. One click and your toolbar and all your tools are easily accessible. Another pro is the constant updates. Because it's made by Google, there's no need to worry about little issues or bugs because they're constantly fixing and updating the app. Another pro is its ability to work with other web pages. Now, why is that helpful? Well, usually AT only allows you to use their tools in a specific context. So usually an app like Google Read and Write would only allow you to use their tools in Google Docs. But that's not true with Google Read and Write. Google Read and Write's different. It allows you to use their tools on anything in Google Chrome. For example, let's say you need to look at a New York Times article for a Gov class. you can go to the New York Times website and you can still use the annotation and the text-to-speech features in Google Read and Write. One last pro, and I have to shout this from the rooftops because it's just that good. I love Google Read and Write's text-to-speech. It is flawless. I used to be a fan of the built-in Mac text-to-speech, but somehow Google Read and Write has taken the throne. Now, why is that? Well, it's because it's Google Read and Write's ability to pause and play in the middle of text, which means you don't need to re-highlight paragraphs if you want to reread something. You can just pause, play, and stop. All right, let's get into the cons. There are 2 cons that I've identified, though. The first con is the speech-to-text. It's really iffy. In fact, it's one of the worst that I've ever used. It's not accurate and it's not consistent, but I do have a solution. If you want to purchase Google Read and Write Premium, but you do need an accurate and consistent speech-to-text tool, you can use SpeechTexter. It's a free website, and I have another video on it, so that may be a possible alternate solution. All right, the second con is the price. It is $150 a year on a subscription basis. That's just not okay. I gave a hard time to Notability last video because it was a subscription, but it was nowhere near $150 a year. The price presents a problem. You need to determine if Google Read and Write Premium is worth it to you. So what I suggest you do is that you try out the 30-day free premium trial, and you can identify if it really meets your needs and requirements. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see the rest of my catalog in a written format, you can go to my website, which will be linked in the description. If you want to see the rest of my video reviews, you can go to my channel, or, again, you can just go to my website. Click all the buttons below if you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day. Bye!